The process that I'm going to show you could be a variety of the DLP endpoint versions. And today's series of problems and solutions will cover how to block an application. So without further ado, we're going to do just that. We're going to go into the DLP Policy Manager, and we have a Definitions tab. Now, for those who might not be familiar, you could also go up here to Classification, scroll down here to Classification, and you also have a Definitions tab that you can take advantage here, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to start out by heading over to Classification, and in the Definition area, we're going to apply a brand new item. We're going to select Application Template right down here under Source and Destination. Click Actions, New Item. And here, what we're going to do today is we're going to block the Calculator app on my Windows 10 machines. Now, the name here is going to be Calculator Template. Stay consistent. You'll see where these are going to begin to show up. Our strategy will stay the same. And down here under our list of available properties will be original executable file name. And in this location, they used to call it calc.exe, but they also have another one that could be used called calculatораpp.exe. Now, to cover our bases, we'll hit the plus sign here. It will be calculator app or calc.exe. When you're done with that, very simply, select Save. That's going to take care of the definitions. Head on over to the Classification tab, and we're going to create a brand new group of our own called Custom. New classification group, we'll call it Custom. Save. Perfect. There's our custom group right up there. That will allow me to create a new classification called Calculator Classification. You can call it whatever you want. You want to recognize it in terms of our demonstration here, where this is going to begin to show up. Click Save. Great. Now that we have our calculator classification, we could do manual classification, we could use it for reg docs, but what we're going to do here is we're going to have new content finger criteria for an application called what? Called Calculator. Here's the application area right here. Don't just begin to type in here, okay? You can't anyhow. You're going to click these dots over here, and you can make life easy for you by deselecting the include built-in items. And there's our calculator template we just created over in the definitions area. So we're tying it to here, and of course behind the scenes would be that program. If you wish to have any other criteria, you could certainly apply it here, but we're not going to. But we are going to name this. Criteria name will be Calculator Criteria, and select Save, just like we did before. Now, when you're done, it's not really obvious, but you want to click this other Save classification right here. So far, so good. We're almost done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to the DLP Policy Manager, and I have used that as a recent page, or you can locate it by going to Menu, down to Data Protection, and then selecting it here for DLP Policy Manager. We're going to select the rule set, and we're actually going to create a rule that's going to get applied to our machines. So Actions, New Rule Set, and I number everything, as you know. I'm going to call this 1000 Block Calculator. Perfect. Select OK. We're going to select the Block Calculator rule. First thing, we want to make sure we're over here on Data Protection. Select Actions, New Rule, Application File Access Protection. And we're going to call this Calculator Block Rule. Of course, this is free form. You can make it whatever you'd like. Enable the rule. I'm using Windows. I'm not using a Mac, so I will deselect that. I will also make this a minor severity. Classification, come over here to the ellipse, deselect the built-in, and there's our calculator from the classification area. Okay. Any user will be applied to this rule. And applications, deselect the built-in, use the calculator template. And then last but not least, the reaction rule. I have a little calculator pop-up, and it looks like this. The calculator is, then we have a token here of %A, which is the action that was taken. It should say blocked. Make sure that is selected and select OK. And just report the incident. We will also make it a manual closing of the window when it's prompted on the client machine, as you will see shortly. We've configured the classification, the application, and the reaction, and activated the state of the rule. Go ahead and select a save. Perfect. And once again, nothing else out here, so we can select close. You'll notice out here, you'll notice on this screen before we hit close, calculator, block rule, reporting the incident on an application file access protection rule, just for Windows. Go ahead and close. Now, one last step. We're going to have to put the rule and put it into the appropriate policy. And in this case, we're using this block Windows with incident and evidence. Now, we didn't mark evidence on this particular item, but we will collect the incident. And we scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's that block calculator that's going to be selected, and that will accompany all of the other blocks. You'll see how nice and neat I like to number these. It makes it nice and easy for everybody to read. Select OK. Great. There's the check mark along with the policy. Now we just have to apply it to the client. Select the policy. In this case, select policies to apply, block Windows, and incident evidence. Click apply. And this will be done. Great, it's been applied. I'm going to scroll all the way up here, and you'll notice that this particular policy is at version 40. Perfect. Come over here to the client, and you'll see I have 39. I'm going to check for new policies, and there's 40. All works appropriately. I'm going to come down to run. Calc. And I got the calculator is monitored. All right. So what happened here? I'm going between two systems here. Let's see what happened. We're going to go back down to this block calculator. Go into the rule. Go to the reaction. I did not select the action. Select the action to block. Select save. Select close. We have to go through this application one more time. See, I make mistakes too. Apply the selected policy to the block window. Apply the policy. I don't mind making mistakes either because you get a chance to see what it would look like if it was monitored. And I'm going to close it because it was a manual closure, right? It allowed me to open up the application, but I want to block it. This should go to 41 now. Check new policies. Version 41. Now let's give it a try. Calc. Oh, it's blocked. Yay. Now, what we're going to do just to end the demonstration is we're going to send the events, have a couple up here, and now we're going to look at the incident console. DLP Incident Manager will reveal, we'll make it full screen here, calculator block rule, use calc.exe. It used that rule, there was the classification, and it told me that it was in fact blocked. You'll remember that we also had a monitor rule for calculator. And this is what will happen when you're just monitoring. You actually will see that it's in fact detected. Also notice here that it used calculator app.exe, and in the blocking, it decided to use calc.exe. All right, well, there you go. Problem and solution. I'm Jay in the lab. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next video.